On a Deer Squad episode, when it says the tickles me low, it says, "Don't worry, that because dummy, it's fine time." The low with it, wood, whoa, the low with it. A little help here, where low with it. Look out, where Kai says, "Whoa, everybody, look out!" Tree vines, where low with it. Ha ha ha, the low with it. Guys, help, the Kai says. What's so funny, Lola? Then Lola says, "The tree vines are tickling me." Or Wally says, "Are you alright, Stan?" And just like that, when Lola says, "Stop it!" Then Lola says, "That tickles." That's with a, "There he is!" Right says, "Well, Speedy, I think I've been so scared by it go on its ride. Have you?" Where Speedy says, "Yeah, I know. I think I've been so scared by going on its ride." With a, "Yeah, me too. We've been so scared by going on this ride before." With a, "When I was just young, I was so scared by going on this ride." Where I said, "Well, the good news is we don't have to face our fears because the ride is broken." Where Speedy says, "This is it, Anna." Where Speedy says, "We made it." Where I said, "We're not scaredy cats." Then Speedy says, "We're not gonna get the scaredies." Then me, Speedy says, "We're brave." Where Kai says, tickling her. Then Kai says, "That's it. To get Lola free, it's by a tickle treat." Where Kai says, "Stu, Sophia, can you guys tickle treat?" Where Stu and Sophia says, "Okay." Where Lola says, "Silly vines, don't tickle my nose. It tickles." Where Kai says, "Hold on tight, Lola." Where Stu says, "Come on, Sophia, I need you to tickle treat." Where Sophia says, "I'm with you, Stu." Where Lola says, "Whoa." Where Lola says, "Ha ha ha." Then Lola says, "Wee." Then Lola says, "Stu, Sophia, keep going, tickle treat to get me free." Then Lola says, "Ha ha ha." Then Lola says, "Wow." Then Lola says, "Woohoo!" Next to Bob Goblin says, "I don't know, what's so funny?" Or when Zoe says, "Magic stick, give me a word." Then Zoe says, "Thanks." And just like that, when Zoe says, "Thanks." Then Zoe says, "Whoa, big word." Then Zoe says, "Diamond Tiara, do you know this word?" Then Diamond Tiara says, "Trampoline." Where Zoe says, "Yeah, it does. Trampoline is a magic word." Where Zoe says, "It says here in the letter T and the letter R, both are together. Cha." Where Zoe says, "Abracadabra, trampoline." Where Zoe says, "Here I go." Then Zoe says, "Woohoo!" Then Zoe says, "Look, Diamond Tiara, you just need to try it." Where Zoe says, "Now you try it." Where Diamond Tiara says, "Well, here it goes." Where Diamond Tiara says, Then Diamond Tiara says, "Hey, not bad." Then Zoe says, "See, I told you it was fun." Where Diamond Tiara says, "Let's see, I go higher." Woo! And then Zoe says, "Wait, not too high." Then Diamond Tiara says, "I wonder I can go higher than the trees." Woo! Where Zoe says, "Hold on, you're going too high." Then Beatrice said, "Yeah." And then Diamond Tiara said, "I'm gonna touch a cloud." Then Diamond Tiara said, "Uh-oh." Then Diamond Tiara said, "What?" Then Diamond Tiara said, "Oh!" Where Zoe says, "After that flying tiara." Where Diamond Tiara says, "Whoa!" Where Diamond Tiara says, "Help!" Where Zoe says, she's gonna fall." Where Zoe says, "We need another trampoline." Where Diamond Tiara says, "Whoa!" Where Zoe says, "Okay, that's not working." Where Zoe says, "We need a path or a trail." Where Zoe says, "Wait, which one starts with the letter T? Path or trail?" Where Zoe says, "Yeah, path starts with the letter T and the letter R." Where Zoe says, "It says here in the letter T." Where Zoe says, "Abracadabra, trampoline trail." Where Diamond Tiara says, "Whoa, whoa, whoa." Where Diamond Tiara says, "Whoa, I don't like trampolines." Then Diamond Tiara says, "Whoa!" Then Zoe says, "Diamond Tiara, are you okay?" Then Diamond Tiara says, "Trampolines are not my favorite." Or when Diamond Tiara says, "Hey, stop that." And just like that, when Diamond Tiara says, "Hey, stop that." Then Penny Lane says, "That sounds like Diamond Tiara." Then Penny Lane says, and I don't think she's pretty happy. Where Penny Lane says, come on. Where Diamond Tiara says, be quiet, you noisy weeds. Where Penny says, Diamond Tiara, what's going on? Where Diamond Tiara says, these noisy plants are taking over my garden, and they're bothering my ears. Where Diamond Tiara says, be quiet, you noisy plants. Where Penny Lane says, noisy plants. Where Penny Lane says, Diamond Tiara, I know what those noisy plants are called. They're called the honkweeds. They say, the honkweeds? Then Penny says, yeah, they're the most noisy plants in the world. And then Diamond Tiara says, tell me about it. Where Penny Lane says, hey, they don't stop. Where Diamond Tiara says, yeah, I know. Where Diamond Tiara says, quiet, you noisy weeds. Where Diamond Tiara says, is there something I can do? Where Zoe says, don't worry, Diamond Tiara, I can make the weeds gone. Where Zoe says, wait, does gone start with a good sound? Where Zoe says, yeah, it does. Then Zoe says, it says here in the letter G. Where Zoe says, okay, Diamond Tiara, I'll make those weeds gone. Where Diamond Tiara says, it worked. They're gone. And then Diamond Tiara says, and they're back. Or Penny says, yeah, you're right. Honkweeds are tricky to get rid of. Or when Speedy says, Anna, I don't want to see the Anna scared wheels. I'm afraid of them. But yeah, me too, Speedy. One time during my sleep, I kept thinking about the Anna scared wheel for a bunch of times. Or Speedy says, yeah, one time during my sleep, I kept thinking about Neville. Where I said, yeah, some of us kept thinking about Neville. Where Speedy says, yeah, we kept thinking about Neville. Where I said, well, this is it. Where Speedy says, goodbye, Anna. Where I said, goodbye, Speedy. Then me, Speedy says, Where I said, duck. Where I said, look out. Where I said, duck. Where I said, dodge. Where I said, phew. It stopped. Well, I'm glad that's over. Where I said, no, it's not over yet. Where I said, here comes another one. Where I said, no, they doesn't. Where I said, no, she doesn't. Or, where I said, okay, Speedy, it's over. We can hop out now. Where me, Speedy says, we did it! Or, when I said, that was amazing! Or, when Speedy says, roses are blue, violets are red. Where Speedy says, I had to go to the bathroom. Then the coach said, how many times do I have to tell you? This is gym class. Where Speedy says, Where Speedy says, dodgeballs. Where I said, hey, Speedy! The Speedy says, don't hit me with the dodgeball. Where the Speedy, why do I want to hit you with a dodgeball?